Hello, I'm Rhonda Manis. I'm a CPA in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm here to wish my clients and friends a happy holiday and address any last-minute tax concerns, thereby placing you in the most tax advantageous position possible at this time. We are all waiting to see what tax cuts are carried forward. Probably one of the most concerning right now is the Debt Forgiveness Act. A few days ago, a client called me and asked me if I thought that this was going to be extended. For those of you that don't know what the Debt Forgiveness Act is, it is the forgiveness of debt when you short sell or give up your home. Lending institutions do not pursue the borrower, and the borrower, that would be you, have the potential to write off the forgiven portion of the debt on your tax return as opposed to recognizing it as income. My answer to my client in this case was, I don't know. Because we are on the edge of the fiscal cliff, we don't know what will take place. So instead of going forward and guessing, I'm going to address three things today. What you can do now, what the audit hotspots are, and what you should know when selecting a tax preparer. Now, if you have large capital gains on investments, you may want to consider selling them now and taking the gain. Why? Because while I cannot see into the future, I can tell you that tax rates are almost certainly going to increase. If you can contribute to an IRA or SEP plan, please do so. Make your last-minute charitable donations. Pay your January bills now, if you can. Mortgage, business expenses, purchase any large assets you are going to or equipment for your business so that you can take the depreciation and 179 deductions and offset any large capital gains with capital losses. Because of the fiscal cliff issue, many of your tax returns will be delayed because new tax forms have to be approved and made available. What you can do now to expedite the process is to begin gathering your tax information as soon as it becomes available. Many of you have the tax collector envelopes I've been giving you all year. You will also receive two tax checklists from me. One will be a generic list, which will be in your January newsletter, Tax Advantageous, and the other will be emailed to you, which will list last year's income and deductions. I will be asking you to review this list and make sure you gather any pertinent information that you will have carrying forward to this year. What are the audit hotspots? Excuse me, two old favorite audit hotspots continue to be Schedule C, sole proprietors, and employee business expenses on Schedule A. Great new piece of software is called Expensify. That website will be listed at the end of this webinar, and you will be able to look that up. It is a terrific piece of software. It will work in tandem with your GPS on your smartphone, and you can track your mileage. It has a scanner to scan your receipts. Excuse me. And it does have a way to list expenses to submit for an expense report. New items will be tuition deductions and education credits, charitable contributions, and S corporations. With respect to your charitable contributions, you must keep a list of what you've donated, when you've donated it, and the cost of the item and the thrift shop value. There are several resources for tracking your contributions. Two of my favorites are It's Deductible, put out by the Intuit people, makers of TurboTax, and I Donated It. I Donated It can be used on your smartphone or your iPad. Again, a terrific piece of software. Finally, the S Corps. S corporations are have long been subject to audits. Recently, I was asked about the audit hotspots, and I guess it was pretty good information because it's now been published in a local accounting journal. So I'm going to review the hotspots I provided information on. One, losses must be limited to basis. You cannot deduct more than you've initially invested in the corporation. You must verify that business and personal expenses are not commingled. This means you cannot pay personal expenses from your business account. You must declare all income, meaning that deposits to the bank must be reconciled to the tax return. If the bank sees more deposits than are declared on the tax return, you're going to have a good reason. Your personal tax return must reflect your lifestyle. If you have large losses on your S-Corp or very little income and a very small W-2 income, and yet many deductions such as charitable and mortgage interest and taxes, you can expect to have the IRS asking questions. You must have all your corporate filings current. If you are not current with the Secretary of State, your corporation is defunct and you no longer can file as a corporation. Subcontractors must be properly classified as subcontractors and not employees. If you control how they do it, when they do it, provide the tools for them to do it with, chances are these people are not subcontractors or independent contractors. They are employees and you must pay them as such. If you have subcontractors, you must issue 1099s. 1099s are issued at the end of the year to any individual partnership who receives compensation of $600 or more. And finally, corporate officers must be paid a reasonable wage. So you cannot take a huge profit and bypass self-employment taxes or payroll taxes. You must pay yourself a reasonable wage. If you do not, the IRS will step in and reclassify some of your expenses as payroll and assess additional taxes on that. So you've got that information, and I want to now tell you what you should be looking at when you're selecting a preparer. Tax preparers fall into one of four categories. They are tax attorneys, CPAs who are certified public accountants, EAs who are enrolled agents, or PTIN holders. That PTIN stands for Preparer Tax Identification Number. All of us have PTINs, tax attorneys, CPAs, and EAs. If your preparer does not sign the return or does not have a PTIN, you may want to reconsider using this person and filing that return. Starting in 2012, PTIN holders had to complete a certain amount of continuing education, and in 2013, they must pass an exam which gives them the PTIN credential of registered PTIN holder. So you definitely want to look at these things when you're selecting your preparer. If you have any questions, feel free to visit my website at taxadvantageous.com. Again, that's taxadvantageous.com, or feel free to email me at ramtaxprep@yahoo.com or ramtaxprep@aol.com. Either of those emails will work wonderfully. I want to take this moment to wish everyone Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, and an enjoyable winter solstice. Thank you very much.